Chapter 95. That's not the answer I was hoping for, and I hate the feeling it gives me even more. Peter woke up first. The sun shone on them, and judging from how high it was probably around noon. He looked at the sleeping girl, now a woman, lying next to him. Her face was relaxed and peaceful. It made him proud. Yesterday, he had seen the light in her eyes again. The light had returned, and he had helped lighting it. That made him happy. As she lay there next to him and he thought of yesterday, of their time several years ago, he felt, just as he had felt then, that they had much left. They were nowhere near the period when everything is boring, when you have already discovered everything you can about each other. There was so much left for him to experience with Jenny. She stretched and smiled before opening her eyes. When she saw him, her smile widened. The light in her green eyes shone brightly, and he leaned forward to kiss her. She wrapped her arms around him. Then they continued where they had left off yesterday. They made love again, now accompanied by all the sounds and smells of the day in the archipelago. They stayed for a long time and enjoyed just lying close to each other and talking about everything and nothing again. After a while, Jenny reached for a watch. It was 2 in the afternoon. I have to be at nightcap at 4 o'clock. We weren't really happy with the sound yesterday, so we'll do another sound check today. Okay. He got up. I'll fix something to eat from what is left over from yesterday. While he prepared food, she cleaned the beds. They ate outside the cottage while looking out over the water. When they were done, they packed up and went to the boat again. As he was driving, Peter called to her. The School of Journalism is in Stockholm too. You could study the final year. I can fix an apartment for us. You saw how she froze. Don't worry, I don't mean that we live together all the time, but since I travel so much, we can share an apartment. Sometimes we can both live in it, sometimes you can live there alone, studying as much as you want. He fell silent. He needed to focus on driving the boat. When she didn't answer, he eventually looked at her. She sat with one hand trailing in the water, watching it. Maybe she hadn't heard him over the noise of the engine. Then she suddenly looked up at him. Keivan, she said. That explains it. Carefully she got up and walked towards him with back and knees bent, as if that would make walking on the boat safer. Keivan found you and talked to you about me, didn't he? He talked to me when I had a job in Alingsås. He told me you were going to play at nightcap. It was quite funny when he asked me if I knew the place. He doesn't know that's where we first met. Anyway, I decided to come and listen to you, and to see you, of course. She leaned forward and patted his knee. Mission accomplished. I already feel much better. You don't need to do anything more. She smiled and walked back to her place. He turned off the engine. She looked at him in surprise. Jenny, you're confusing me with Keivan. There was a hint of irritation in his voice. He probably does everything for you, even things he doesn't really like. If I suggest something, it's because I want to, not because I pretend to be some kind of good Samaritan. I would like you to stay in Stockholm. We could have fun for a while. She looked at him for a while. Oh, Peter, wonderful Peter. The guy who wanted to move on all the time, who enjoyed life by changing it. Yes, of course she understood that he meant what he said. Right now, he thought it was a good idea. For a while, they could have fun together before it would tug at him again. His desire for freedom. She glanced at her watch. The man is used to me being late, but I don't want to be too late. He didn't start the engine. He just looked at her, squinting. She sighed, knowing he was not going to start the engine until he had an answer. Let me think about it, all right? You'll come to the gig tomorrow, or tonight as well, won't you? He nodded. Then let's talk about it after the show. He started the engine, but he didn't like the answer. And he really didn't like how her answer made him